What is up, my dudes? This is Trent with the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. I am joined by Phil, Jordan, and Seth. If you want to come check out what Seth's house looks like when he doesn't pay his power bill, head over to YouTube at TFF Dudes. There's not a light on in his whole entire house. Phil, how we doing, man? You hanging in there before?
Seth is in the pitch dark. He's wearing a beanie. He's inside his home, and I'm pretty sure I just saw him put down a White Claw. Like, what do we do?
This is a Celsius, actually. I wish it was, honestly. Yeah, I usually pregame with 6 of those before I get on this pod.
That makes more sense than anything I've heard all day. We're earlier than we've ever started. It is 9:08 Wednesday night. This will be out first thing Thursday morning. We're doing our week 3 preview, so going over all the matchups, our starts, our sits, our sleepers, all that good stuff. Everything will be time stamped in the show notes below if you want to skip ahead. But Phil, is there anything you want to say before we jump into these picks? You know, like I know I'm giving you a quick little moment here to say something before we just jump right into it.
No, I look so much better. I didn't have the wrong camera plugged in. I now, all my blemishes are gone, thankfully. Yeah, doing good, doing well. I don't have anything. I drove behind Jordan for about 25 minutes today. Actually, not 25 minutes, but for about 5 minutes. And he was driving about 15 miles an hour on a 60-mile-an-hour road. And so I've been giving Trent so much flack. And I think Jordan actually might be the worst offender on this pod.
There's no way I was driving 15 miles an hour.
Okay, maybe it was someone else who drives a tricked out Chrysler 200, but I thought it was you.
I probably was me, but there's no way I was going that slow.
All right, 20 miles an hour.
Seth, who would you rather drive with, me or Jordan?
I've actually driven with both of you a decent amount. I will say Jordan drives faster, but I mean, I don't feel unsafe in either situation.
Okay, that
so
was
I don't
generic.
think I don't have an opinion, I would say.
Yeah, that was that really sparked the conversation. So thanks for that opinion, Seth.
But I will hold on.
All I'll say is this, Seth. Me and you one time we went on a decent drive to a football game. I drove and we got to stop for dinner before the football game. If Trent would have drove you, you would have went right to the game and not been able to stop for dinner.
It's true. That's actually true. But one thing that drove me crazy was Jordan's little not the windshield, the sun shield. That drove me nuts. That thing's still broken.
Didn't he have a dinging noise the whole time you were driving too? Like, I don't know. Would you rather eat before the game or would you rather not have to hear a beeping noise every 5 minutes?
Yeah, but it was also weird too that Trent would pass people in the middle lane and then get immediately back in the right lane, go slow. Then those people would pass him and then he'd pass them again and get behind another truck. So it's kind of like it's stupid versus stupid.
It's a cycle of stupidity driving with Trent, Seth. I could not agree with you more. It's just like it's one bad decision after the next, and it's like, yeah, you might get there safely, but you get car sick just changing lanes with the guy. I said that you just described him perfectly. He'll pass a car and then get behind another truck, and then that traffic will pass him. That is so perfect.
This is so stupid. Phil gets car sick passing snacks in the back seat of his car from the shotgun position. So him talking about car sick means nothing. The guy gets car sick riding merry-go-rounds. So it's really not that big of a deal.
And you have a booster in your Dodge. and you sit on a booster in your truck. So you have nothing to say.
Good one, buddy. Anyways, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Trophy Smack, guys. Trophy Smack is the absolute best place to go for all of your fantasy football trophies, last place awards. They even do pictures for your wall. They got busts of Patrick Mahomes. They got a brand new helmet that you can put your league logo on, whatever you want. It's a real helmet that you can put on and wear. Like, honestly, if Phil won that helmet, it would look a lot cooler than the one he normally wears when he drives his car. So anyways, head over to Trophy Smack, get that new trophy, get a belt, all that good stuff. Just go www.trophysmack.com/dudes, 15% off your whole entire order, guys. And now let's jump into this Thursday night game. Then we're going to do our start, sit, sleepers, all that good stuff. And Jordan, do you have last week's totals from all the pick'ems we did? And the crazy thing about last week, I think there were 6 underdog wins. There's a lot of upsets. I am out of all of my survivor polls. I did 3 Bengals let me down with 2 of them in week 1. And this past week, Eagles let me down. Not only the Eagles let me down, Drake London decided to start playing football with a minute left in the game to make him not be a sit of the week. Like
Also,
I had him.
Kirk Cousins was just absolutely on fire that last drive.
Yeah.
He just,
he's
the
Well,
throws
also
he
the
made
Eagles
was
didn't
insane.
The Eagles didn't
Eagles
cover
sucked.
anyone
Yeah.
within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super deep coverage.
yeah.
It's cover
yeah,
Siberia. Yeah.
So Seth and I tied at 7-9, and then you and Phil tied at 9-7. So we
there we
didn't
go,
have a
Phil.
tiebreaker this year. So I think what we do, Trent, was we just like give you guys half a win. So like
Okay,
0.5.
that's fine.
I think we do that.
That's fine.
0.5 each.
That works. That works. We can do a tiebreaker for now on. I guess we could have.
Wait,
Phil,
hold on.
you
Just
could,
do a
but
number
now-
between 1 and 5.
I don't trust this guy.
We'll just do the 0.5, and then if you get like 2, so that way if you break it tie, like maybe Phil will tie with me one time, and he'll get another 0.5, and I'll get a 0.5. I don't know. I think it'll be fine.
Let's
All
be
right,
fair.
fine.
Let's be real too, Phil. The tiebreaker probably would have been Eagles, Falcons. We probably would have both picked Eagles. It would have been Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I thought I picked the Falcons, but I could be wrong.
Maybe you
He did.
did.
Yeah, Phil.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
the tiebreaker. That's the tiebreaker.
No,
Phil,
tiebreaker
Yes.
is the total
It
points
has to
of
be
the
the
game.
point
It would
total.
not be.
shut up,
Yeah.
Jordan.
but wait.
Gosh.
Wouldn't the tiebreaker? Wouldn't it go to him though if he picked the? No, you're right.
Yes.
It would
No,
have to
it
be-
would, because I picked the underdog in that game and I won.
That's not how it works. Phil, I've already educated you multiple times today on gambling. So, like, can we do it again
just-
for you? Like,
And
Yeah,
also
and just
over the
etiquette.
weekend, I don't send it to the normal group chat because I'm too embarrassed how much ridicule I'll get. So I just send Jordan side messages and be like, "Hey, did this hit or am I going to lose?" And he's usually,
no.
he's gracious enough.
Yeah. Oh man. High school Phil, back when you were leading the hall monitor crew, would not have tolerated that. But anyways, let's jump into this Thursday night game. Phil, read the lines here for us, buddy, and we'll give our picks, our plays, preview the games, all that good stuff. Remember, guys,
All
don't be
right.
rude. Share the dudes really helps us out.
The Patriots versus the Jets. I love how Trent put Trent put Patriots 1-1 and then did not put anyone else's record for the remainder of the slate. But Patriots against the Jets in New York. Jets are currently favored by 6. The current total is 38.5. No starts or sits in this game, but this is the Thursday night game. Patriots coming off a loss against the Seahawks, probably putting them down, kicked them down just a little bit here. What do we think about this one? Aaron Rodgers get a dub, or what does it look like? What are you guys thinking here this week?
What do we think of Braylon? No, you can't play him
Braylon
yet.
Allen.
Yeah, I've had a lot of
yeah,
people ask. Short week.
I'm not doing it. I mean, we don't have any buys. No, off the top of my head, I can't think of many running back injuries. Is there? I know we've had a lot of other injuries at other positions, but
Yeah.
I can't think of any running back injuries off the top of my head. Maybe Rashad White, if Rashad White didn't
He's dealing
play.
with a groin. Yeah.
But like it sounds like he's gonna play, so I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I don't know everyone's team, so maybe it is on some teams, but like maybe you have CMC and you don't have Jordan Mason and you're kind of desperate. Like I know Trent, you might have a team like that. But
No, Jordan. I traded CMC.
yeah, but you still have to start a running back, and Braylon Allen is
yeah.
now on your team. So you know,
No, I got rid of Braylon. I got rid of Braylon Allen too.
Oh, that's right. You got rid of Braylon Allen. Okay.
Yeah,
But
we
you
could
were
just bring
going
it
to be
up.
on that. You were
I
going to be in
was,
that
yeah.
situation, right? So,
Yeah.
but maybe someone's like that, like where they just kind of have to.
Mhm.
Wow, so Seth's light just came on. That
I
kind
have a
of
light on me now.
threw me off.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't. For me, Trent, the only Jets that I really trust here is like Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and then on the other
Yeah.
side, like Ramondre, I think is great. The Jets got they got destroyed by Jordan Mason week 1, and then Tony Pollard had a decent game week 2 against them, and then I think Hunter Henry is like decent tight end play. We got some tight end injuries like Njoku, Evan Ingram. There might be a couple more that I can't think of, but I don't know. I think he's fine. Like he got a lot of volume week. He's played a ton of snaps both weeks, ran routes on pretty much all of his snaps, or ran a ton of routes both weeks, and then only got 2 targets week 1, but then had a huge game week 2. So even if he gets you somewhere in the middle, like I think that's fine. Like if you can get 8 points out of Hunter Henry, you're probably okay with that.
It's better
Like, 4
than
catches.
it's better than why am I blanking on him? Kelsey. It's better than that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like if I
But
would say
also
if I
too,
rank,
one thing I think we need to target this year is tight ends versus the Seahawks. The Seahawks, at least in the last year and this year, they're bad against tight ends. Hunter Henry
there's
is
probably
always so that might be one thing to think about too if we ever want to look at something like that.
But like
I want to
I
see
just
this
think
week. But
the Patriots have no wide receivers is the other thing. So like he is their de facto like number one target. So that's a lot of Hunter Henry talk, but
Yeah, and at the time, right now, Hunter Henry is tight end. Where is he on here? I'm looking at the top 10.
7.
He's tight end 4 on the season. He finished 26th on week 1, and he finished tight end 4 last week. So that was enough to get him inside the top 10. And yeah, like Travis Kelce, I talked about on the waiver show. He wasn't even a top 30 tight end play last week. His left tackle has I think 3 less catches than him and 1 more touchdown than him. So there's a fun little fact there. The Jets have not beat the Patriots. Well, that's a big stat. I don't know if they beat him at home I don't think they beat him at home since the butt fumble. I believe was the last time they didn't win the butt fumble game. I'm not sure what I saw about the butt fumble game, but you always got to bring that up every time they play.
Absolutely have to bring it up.
Have to bring that up. Ramondre must start. He has 46 carries on the season. He is in second place on amount of carries in the season. So they're just feeding him. What about Antonio Gibson, Jordan?
Trent,
he kind of got involved.
Trent, you said he was okay. Antonio Gibson, super efficient, had only like 7 carries for like 90 yards. So like I don't know if I like the matchup enough for that because the Jets defense is pretty good. But you made a comment. You said Ramondre must start. So I have a question for you since he's a must start. Who would you start him over? Would you start him over Kamara?
I would not start him over Kamara.
A-Chain?
You can't know.
Kyron?
I might start him over Kyron with how beat up that ran. Man, Kyron's probably who do you think has a better chance to score a touchdown, Ramondre or Kyron? You probably have to start Kyron over him too, even though the Rams are completely battered. They're playing without their horns, basically. Okay.
Travis Etienne?
Who are the Jags playing again? It's a decent run defense.
Jags
Buffalo.
are playing Buffalo, yeah.
I think I might play him over Etienne.
Yeah, that's my 5 running backs on my dynasty team. So
okay, that's a solid list right there, and I don't think you can go wrong with any of them, Jordan.
I know I need to probably trade one of them is what the answer is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
I'll take one.
I just think like you say Ramondre is a must start. I think there's teams where it's tough because he's so good, but like depends how people drafted, right? And honestly, dynasty is a little bit different just because of the way you build your roster out. But he's been really, really good though. So, and I'm kind of upset I don't have more Ramondre shares across the board, like with best ball stuff.
I think your team is unique, Jordan. Like, I don't think that's like
I know. I just want to throw it out there. I was bragging. Honestly, I just want to take the opportunity to brag a little bit.
That was just a flex.
Yeah, it's basically like the podcast version of taking your shirt off and just flexing your guns, basically is what Jordan just did. He did not take his shirt off. Do not pull over your car and search us on YouTube at TFF Dudes at the moment if you thought he did that.
Or do go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Top 5 fantasy running backs ranked by rushing attempts. I put this on X today. Josh Jacobs and Jordan Mason tied in first at 48. Saquon Barkley and Ramondre Stevenson at 46. Joe Mixon at 39. James Conner and Najee Harris at 37. And Alvin Kamara at 35. That's your top 5 fantasy running backs as in touches and volume they're getting. So I think any guy on that list, it's hard to not play them. In this game, Jet side, you said Wilson. We said Aaron Rodgers. I don't even think Aaron Rodgers is a must-play either.
It's just 2 guys in the Jets, I think.
Yeah. Lazard, if you're looking for a deep sleeper, maybe. And then Patriots side, Henry and Ram are the best.
This game has such a low total. Like, this New England defense is solid.
Mm-hmm.
I know they did give up a ton of yards and catches to wide receivers, though. But, like, it's just I don't really trust this Jets team outside of Wilson.
Yeah, I think Garrett Wilson can get it done. Because if DK and JSN last week combined for like 250, I think he can easily get his line. What I think that's at like probably 60 something this week. So I
Yeah,
think you're looking
64
at
now.
probably a Garrett Wilson, maybe Garrett Wilson touchdown and 70 plus yards probably.
So
If Aaron Rodgers can get him the ball.
everyone made fun of my Cowboys hat. Phil, you made fun of my Cowboys hat saying I can't read or
Who
something.
doesn't
earlier.
make fun of it?
Okay. Seth's in here without the lights on. He turns the lights on so he can see where he's putting his cellulose can. The guy's wearing a UCLA beanie. Like, what's up with that? That's got to be the dumbest thing that's ever made an appearance on this pod.
Yeah, why are you wearing a UCLA beanie, Seth?
My dad went to UCLA. He's a grad. So I
Okay.
have like a
All right,
soft spot.
respect. Sorry.
That's fair.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I take back everything I said.
Hey,
Didn't
Trent,
know
here's
that.
an idea. Shut up.
Okay, I'm going Jets win this game. Anyone else going Jets? Everybody going? What are we doing here?
Yeah,
I'm
I'll go
going
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah, Jets for sure.
Yeah. Usually, Phil, that's a horrible idea, but in this point, that was probably the right thing to say. So,
No, but it's true though.
fun fact.
If Fresno State plays UCLA, I'm always a Fresno State guy. UCLA is just kind of back there, just I'll cheer
got
for
cool
them when they're not playing a team I like.
yeah, they got cool.
That's
helmets.
pretty. I mean, hey, here's the thing. To say you went to UCLA is pretty prestigious, though. Like that's a pretty.
I
tough
went
school.
there once, though. Oh, you're saying for college?
Yeah, I mean, here's the
Okay.
thing. I think I mean, yes, you stepped on a couple college campuses for sporting events, but like in terms of actual education, I think you went to a continuation school after high school. So like, I don't think we probably shouldn't be
Cool.
It wasn't even a trade school. It was just like, yeah, he was,
Yeah,
whatever.
School hard knocks, baby. Okay, Phil, what do we got next?
Moving on here,
Spurs.
we have a. So we moved on to the Monday night doubleheader, and I know Jordan absolutely hates when we call it a doubleheader, but we do have a sleeper in this game, and that's why we are starting with it. The Commanders at Bengals current total right now is 46.5. Cincy favored by 7.5, starting 0-2 this season. Jordan, hit us with your sleeper friend.
Yeah, so I got a sleeper here, Austin Ekeler. I saw some outlets have him ranked as like running back 40 on the week. I think he's going to be a little bit closer to like running back 25 in that 20-25 range. My biggest thing here is like Commanders, huge underdogs. Last week, Ekeler played, I think he played like a little bit, about 50% snaps week 1. It was
43.
About 43 week 2. I think mostly just because of the game script, right? Close game, they're up. They don't need Ekeler as much. Brian Robinson had a huge game. But I think we see Washington get down, possibly big in this game against the Bengals. So if that happens, I think you see more Ekeler. I think you see more dump downs, dump offs to Austin Ekeler. I think you get a pretty solid game here from Austin Ekeler, especially I think in PPR formats. He could be really good. That's pretty much it. Like I just think we see him just dump offs more, Jayden Daniels dropping back more. I think we see two things here in this game is Austin Ekeler receiving yards, and then I think we see some Jayden Daniels rushing yards as well. That's pretty much it.
What are you thinking? Like, is Jayden Daniels, do you think he can finally throw the ball to Terry McLaurin? Like, pass catchers outside of like Zach Ertz and you saying Ekeler right there, is there anyone you want to play on that Commanders offense? You can play Brian Robinson Jr., Ekeler, Austin Ekeler. Like, can we play Terry?
I think Terry's maybe more in wait and see mode right now. I don't like the spot for Brian Robinson as much. I think in games where they're up or close, I think it's Brian Robinson. I think the Bengals, this game is in, where's this game at? This game is in Cincinnati. Like I think the last time the game was in Cincinnati, the Bengals put up a stinker against the Patriots, right? So like, I think that they go home and they make a statement back in front of their home fans after that pretty good game against the Chiefs. So I think they get up big, and I think we get a lot of Ekeler dump downs with Jayden Daniels.
Cleveland side of the ball. Anything you like?
You mean
feel
Cincinnati?
good about
Cincinnati, you
or
mean?
Cincinnati? Sorry, yeah, Cincinnati. Fire your guys up.
Yeah, I just fired. I think Chase.
Higgins playing?
I think this is the Chase breakout spot.
I almost
this
had
Washington-
Zach Moss as my start of the week here. The Commanders have not been good on the run. I think this is a good Zach
Oh,
Moss
but they
play.
but Trent, they also haven't been good against the pass either.
Yeah.
I think
But
you're probably just
like,
thinking they get up, right, Trent, and then they just run the ball a ton. Is that what you're saying?
This Washington secondary is really bad. Like, look what neighbors did. Daniel Jones did last week against the secondary. Week 1, Baker just absolutely shredded this. Mike Evans shredded it. This is a Jamar Chase breakout spot if I've ever seen it. Like, it's going to happen here.
Okay. And the snap percentages have really shifted to Moss the last 2 weeks, going higher and higher.
Yeah.
Chase Brown
Moss
hasn't
is
been
a
doing
good
too
play.
much. So I think you can play Moss, feel good about it. Like, I'm not saying, I don't know if he's like a top 10 running back, but I think he's top 15. Pretty safe to say. Who's their tight end? Why can't I ever remember this guy's name? The guy who's really good at the gritty. I think you can play him also. Mike Gesicki. He caught a lot of passes last week, caught some yards. So I think you can fire up Gesicki as well. I'm going to say, do we think Jaden Daniels finally throws a touchdown this game? I guess we kind of answered that already. These rookie quarterbacks between Daniels, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, none of them have thrown a TD pass yet. We're in week 3.
Yeah, I think Daniels looks the best, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, just running around. Yeah, he's we can talk more about those other guys later. I'm going Bengals win this game. Anyone want to go Commanders? Phil, you feeling froggy?
No, I'm going with Bengals. I was listening to the broadcast though in the Miami game, and they were just smearing Mike Gesicki's name. They were like, "Oh, they finally got a tight end there in Miami." And I'm like, dude, Gesicki was like decent the last 2 years in Miami. I don't know why.
They stopped throwing him the ball.
I think Jonnu Smith's solid, but is like, dude, I don't know. I don't get
I think Jonnu fits their scheme better. What they want to do.
Yeah, maybe, but like he wasn't bad. Do you know what I'm saying? They're making it seem like they had no tight end. I thought Gesicki was pretty decent. I was hurt for him. That's all I'm saying here.
Hey, it's okay. We all got those guys that we get, kind of triggered for, and that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, Gesicki's my dude.
No one can take those feelings away from you, Phil. We're here for you, buddy.
Hey, thanks, friend. I am a little bit frustrated with Seth by picking this game as someone where he had a start in the game, but we're going to go over it anyways. We have a knife fight in New York. Browns versus Giants. Current total is 38.5. Honestly, it might be like 9 points total because I bet you it's going to be a field goal central game. Cleveland is currently favored by 6.5. Seth, you have a start in this game. Are you going to be watching this game?
No, I probably will not.
Okay.
But the reason I have a start in this game is I have targeted the Giants defense these last 2 weeks. I probably should stop doing it, but I'm going to do it again this week. If you look at the last 2 weeks against this Giants defense, Brian Robinson had 134 total yards, 133 rushing, did not have a touchdown, but that's a lot of rushing yards. And Aaron Jones had 94 rushing yards and 15 yards, and he also had a rushing touchdown. So I think Jerome Ford is just going to have a good game on the ground against the Giants here. I don't really know what the score is going to be like, but since it's a low total, I think there's going to be a lot of rushing by this Browns offense, and Jerome Ford is going to be playing a lot more snap percentage like he did week 1, which is around 75. And I think he does get his second rushing touchdown of the year. Little preview for tomorrow too, if you want to tune into our betting show tomorrow. You'll probably hear about him tomorrow. So that's my start of the week. I think we can see, probably 15 points from Jerome Ford this week. I think he gets there by rushing volume alone.
Yeah, and Seth, you can actually pair Jerome Ford up. They got a free play over at Underdog right now. It's actually they got the CD Lamb play right now that you can pair that up, and maybe that's some easy cash if you just want to do 2 plays right there. So there it is right there. Go to Underdog Fantasy, promo code dudes will match up to $1,000, but there's your gimme pick. CD Lamb just has to get over 0.5 total yards, and that's one hit. You just got to find one other play to get, and you're good to go. So head over to Underdog, promo code dudes, match you up to $1,000, I believe is what the promo is right now. So guys, head over there. Anything else in this game we like? We got Browns, Amari Cooper. It feels gross. I don't know if Njoku's coming back yet. Giant side, you're gonna smash Neighbors in there. Yeah, you'll smash Neighbors in, play him. He had a big game last week, and I think he's still pretty frustrated about that drop. Daniel Jones, I talked about a stream last week. I don't like that as much this week, but I just thought I should go back and just kind of look, Jordan, because everyone gave me so much flack about this. Quarterbacks that Daniel Jones finished above last week were, where is he here? Daniel Jones finished as QB7 last week. So all the haters that wanted to kick me off the pod and said I didn't know what I was talking about, Daniel Jones had a decent fantasy game. So thank you for that. You guys can remember that next time you kick me off the pod. But I will say it felt gross saying it. Okay, I kind of threw up in the back of my mouth.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So
yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Talking about things that look gross
twice a day.
Yep. Talk about things that look gross, but probably were delicious. I've also seen you shove an entire jelly donut in your throat. So that looked gross, but I'm sure it was tasty. So let's move on here. All right. Are we taking
pick a winner?
Take your word for it, Phil.
It was, hey, when you're driving to Bakersfield with a guy that's just guzzling down jelly-filled donuts, you tend to remember those things.
I'm not even a jelly donut fan, so that's just a total lie.
Cream-filled, I'm sorry. All right. What are we?
Cream-filled either. There's about 95 other donuts you could have said, and I would have been like, I might have done that.
Bear Claw.
Yeah, I would have believed that. But you said jelly filled, and I'm like, it's not true.
I was trying to keep my eyes on the road. I get car sick. You remember? It was probably a Bear Claw. All right, what are we taking here? I am taking the Browns.
I got the Browns.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going Browns.
You are in junior high. People are going to rewind it and be like, what did he even say? And they're going to be like, this guy's not funny.
Yeah,
all right, moving on here.
Yeah, well, you need help. Set that up perfectly. Hey, no one disagrees with that, partner.
All right. Moving on here. We have the 49ers versus the Rams. Sad day in paradise for the LA team. Current total right now is 44.5. San Francisco favored in Los Angeles by 7. Jordy, you have a start in this game.
Yeah, I have Demarcus Robinson as a start here. So we got the Rams are down Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. They're down the bare bones at wide receiver. I think they're going to be lining up in their 3 wide receiver sets. Demarcus Robinson, Tyler Johnson, and Jordan Whittington, the rookie out of Texas. So I don't know. Like, there's just not much here. Like, Demarcus Robinson played 92% snaps last week, or in both games, has 11 targets combined through 2 weeks. The 49ers are giving up the 3rd most fantasy points to wide receivers. And so, yeah, the 49ers are 7-point favorite here. And I think I think that leads to the Rams throwing. So, Niners defense is giving up a lot of fantasy points to wide receivers. I think they're gonna get up big here. I really like the Niners in this game, which I think leads to Demarcus Robinson throwing. So as long as they can keep Matthew Stafford somewhat clean in the pocket, I think Demarcus Robinson could have a pretty big game here, or maybe not big, but like top 25 wide receiver worthy.
If they can protect Stafford, I agree with you, because he did really good last year when Cooper Kupp was out. He strung some games together. I like Demarcus Robinson. The only thing that worries me is just that I know the Rams, I believe, are getting their left tackle back from suspension, but I think they lost their left guard. So it's just like the injuries are just completely just coming over there in LA. Like, I don't know if it's in the water or what it is, but they have to keep Stafford healthy and give him some time to throw the ball, because it was rough I don't think they converted on they were terrible on 3rd down last week. But I do agree with you. The Niners, like all that stuff you said, the offensive line is what concerns me. If anyone can get it done, it could be Stafford, though. So I don't hate it, Jordan. I'm just
I get it. Like, to be honest, I had a hard time with starts and said this, especially starts this week.
Well, I had a hard time. I kept the same one as last week that I had and put the sleeper. I forgot to put the start on there, so it's my fault. If you check it out on YouTube, you'll see that he had the bed over his photo, not the start button. So sorry about that.
No, it's all good. I think they use Kyron, just other things in this game. I think they use Kyron a little bit more as a receiver, give him the ball through the air. On the Niners side, I mean, the Niners had just as many injuries on offense too. We got Debo's out. That's a big one for them. And so I think Jordan Mason's going to have a really good game here. The Rams have been really bad against the run too. Like the Lions killed them week 1 with the run. James Conner was awesome last week too. So I think Jordan Mason's in for a good game here. I think Ayuk gets a bump for sure. Kittle gets a bump for sure. Like I like pieces in this game, on both sides, to be honest.
Yeah. Just asking something. I put a little poll out on X today. Who would you rather have rest of season in fantasy football, Trey McBride or George Kittle?
That's tough.
Yeah. Especially Trey McBride had a big game last week.
I think
I don't know how long
Debo's hurt.
Yeah, I feel like he's.
If Debo and McCaffrey are hurt for a while, then Kittle. But if not, I think McBride.
Okay. Out of 171 votes, 81.7% said Trey McBride, 18.3% said George Kittle. I think Kittle still is like, usually this 49ers offense, if one guy gets injured, everyone else eats. And you have two guys injured. You have CMC and Debo out. I think Ayuk and George Kittle are going to have really big games. And I also think, is it Juwan Jennings? Is that his last name's Jennings?
Jennings, yep.
Is it Juwan? Okay. I wanted to say Johnson, but I think that's the guy in the Saints. I think he's very playable as well in this game. So it's a deep, deep play. I'm going 49ers win this game. Anyone going Rams? Bill,
No.
I know you're kind of an LA guy, LA boy.
I'm an LA guy. Jordan loves Sean McVay, but I am going with the Niners. I wish they both could lose. NFC West, I wish they both could lose.
How do you guys feel about me saying the Cardinals are going to win the NFC West? You guys still think that's kind of crazy? We did a back bet on that.
I think if anyone's going to win it, it's probably going to be the Seahawks. But maybe. I don't know. I think the Seahawks shut Marvin Harrison down, dude. They put together just a defensive scheme and shut the dude down. And
their secondary's good, and that's a little foreshadowing to one of my picks later. So Seth, you got smelling salts there? What's going on there? We should all take smelling salts before the pod.
No, I just was wiping my nose.
Okay. Smelling salts would have been a lot cooler. What do we got next, Phil?
Cleaning the top of his Truly. All right. We have the Panthers versus the Raiders. Current total, right? Another game that's just less than ideal. And of course, Trent has a sleeper in it. Of course, the guy is going to be in a sleeper. This is an absolute terrible game. 39.5. Vegas is favored by 5.5. Trent, you have a sleeper. And also, one of the things that we should mention here is Andy Dalton is starting. So I really doubt any of you guys were not or were starting a Panthers QB, but Andy Dalton is starting there.
Dalton.
And I'm sure Trent is probably going to be like, I'd love to have this guy, I wouldn't be surprised if he was a start. Lowest guy on the totem pole, Trent throws him as a start, although he does as a sleeper. It's Dalton, not Dalton.
You're the one saying Dalton. Can everyone agree with me that Phil's the guy saying Dalton, not me? I said it to make fun of you.
Yeah, you're kind of saying it weird, Phil.
Oh, okay. I'll raise my hand. I thought I was saying Dalton, but that's all right.
Hey, it's okay.
All right, get in your sleeper. Get in your sleeper.
I got Zamir White, guys. It's been rough. He hasn't been what all the offseason hype was supposed to be, but I think he can play Zamir White this week against the Panthers. J.K. Dobbins went wild on the Panthers last week. Everyone that plays the Panthers runs wild. So I think this is an absolute – I think you can play him here. I know Madison got the goal line carry. The snap percentage is still pretty even. If Zamir White can't get it done here, I don't know if he's going to get it done. This is kind of my last shot I got for Zamir White. I think the Raiders are kind of pulling something together, kind of finding it. I'm playing Zamir White in a lineup myself, but I really like Panthers D. I'm playing Zamir. I have some stats too. I'm going to pull them up here right now. But Jordan, I think this kind of brings Deontay Johnson back a little bit, right?
No.
You don't think Dalton's
I'm not playing a Panther, Trent.
I'm not playing him this week. Does it make him better?
I don't know. How am I supposed to know? Andy Dalton's like 40 years old.
But he threw for 350 yards. He threw for 350 yards one game last year.
Okay, but
He's has
now
to be an
he's even
upgrade.
older. He's even
That's
older.
true.
He doesn't have to be an upgrade. That's a little like we don't know. You're not. I mean, when's the last time you watched Andy Dalton play football? Last year.
It's been a while, but he's last year when I watched him, he's better than anything I've seen Bryce
If
Young
they
do.
can't protect, like I don't know. I'm not going to say
Bryce
that it
Young
has
was
to
under
be an upgrade.
pressure. Bryce Young was under pressure 4 plays last week.
I know. I don't know. But Andy Dalton also can't move. I don't know. I need to wait and see on this Panthers. I'm not playing a Panther, Trent. Like I know you were big on Deontay Johnson coming in the year, but like
I think it helps him though. Like I'm not playing him this week, but like I think this could be someone that
probably
can just
doesn't.
the ball.
It probably doesn't hurt him. I'll say that. Like, but I want to go back to Zamir White. You mentioned the snaps were not equal last week, Trent. It was 63% Zamir White, 22% Alexander Madison.
Okay, so.
Zamir White had most of the touches, I think, if I look at that box score correctly. Madison just had like the one red zone carry, I think.
So
but
you're saying
I really
you were saying it was in favor of Zamir White or in favor of Madison?
In favor of Zamir White.
Yeah, he had 9 carries. Madison had 4.
More.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like,
in Madison's
I know
fantasy points, he had 6. Like he had the touchdown, that was it.
He had 4 carries for 1 yard and a touchdown. But that's a tough run defense. I couldn't. I'll be honest. I wanted to make Zamir White my start, and then you had him as your sleeper. So like, I'm all for this one. Like last week, like J.K. Dobbins was awesome for me, and like this matchup, I'm going right back to Zamir White. Seth did a little preview, a little sneak peek of our episode next that we're doing tomorrow. I'll preview that with like Zamir White. Will be talked about tomorrow on our prop show. I love this spot for him. I think this is just a spot we're gonna go back to the well on multiple times throughout the year.
Yeah, PFF has the Panthers giving up 199 rushing yards per game.
Yeah, like the Saints went wild on them week 1, and the Chargers went. I mean, they can't stop the run, and that has nothing to do with Bryce Young. So like.
Yeah, I felt like sleeper though was a thing to say for Zamir White because I feel like everyone's kind of discounting or discrediting him right now. He didn't get the red zone carry last week. I think the matchup is too good. If he can't do it here, I don't think he's going to do it. So I think with how bad this defense is, I think this is a good get right spot for White.
Zamir White's going to be a top 12 running back this week.
Oh, yeah. I saw him on PFF. He was running back 30 though. Like I was shocked to see him that
crazy.
low.
Like,
yeah. So that's why I put him as a sleeper, not a start of the week, but I almost had him as a start also.
And I may have said start, so that's my bad.
No, it's okay. I got the graphic right on this one at least.
So. Bowers is like a must play at this point too.
He's looking good.
The volume that he's getting is ridiculous.
It's like him and Adams, and you don't need to play anyone else to catch passes there. And I don't know, maybe Minshew gets a little bit better. That was a big win for the Raiders last week to beat the Ravens like that. And you don't want to play any Panthers. You're playing Adams. You're playing Brock Bowers. Maybe if you're in a pinch, you play Madison and hope that he just gets another red zone carry. I think they want Zamir to be the guy. And then I don't know if there's anyone else to really talk about in this game.
No.
So. All right. So I'm going to say we're all going Raiders, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they can beat the Ravens and they lose the Panthers, there's something weird going on. I don't know.
All right. What we got next, Phil?
Yes, sir. All right. Moving on. Texans versus Vikings. Houston is currently favored by 2.5 in Minnesota. Current total right now is 45.5. Seth, you have a sleeper, the man of Skull himself, Seth Costi. Talk to us about Sam Darnold.
Skull boy.
So Sam Darnold projected this week, I think, to be outside of the top 15. I think he easily falls under that. If we look at the quarterbacks who played the Texans, I would say not good at all. We had Anthony Richardson, who got 27, okay? And that was with 9 completions, just complete bombs. So, I mean, if Anthony Richardson also missed some throws here, too, in this game, also could have had more. If he actually plays good. I think he does well. And then also Caleb Williams is an outlier. He didn't play good. I just don't think Caleb Williams has really adapted to the league yet. I think he still can, but Sam Darnold has been consistent and he can get the ball to fantasy relevant guys. Justin Jefferson, hopefully Jordan Addison's playing this week. And I think this is actually going to be a pretty good game. I think we see that reflected in the point total, which Phil said was 45.5. Yep. It's pretty good.
45.5.
Yep. So I think this game is going to be really good. It's something I want to look at in the passing attack and maybe Justin Jefferson lines, Jordan Addison. But I think Sam Darnold throws for over 250 yards this game, 2 touchdowns. But I think this game might be like a Texans real first test. Like I think the Vikings are a good team, surprisingly, with Sam Darnold. I think they're good.
I
think Sam Darnold finished. Let me say this. He's projected 15. I think he finishes top 7 this week.
Yeah. And I actually I don't like this spot for Mixon. The Vikings defense is actually pretty good against the run. I know he's banged up. So if it's not Mixon, I don't know which one of those guys maybe falls in the end zone or how that works. But this Vikings defense they're pretty scrappy and they're a little underrated. This could be a really good game. And I think Viking is Jefferson for sure playing. Do we know? Like that could be a big factor. I know he missed a little time last week. I believe he came back though.
He's playing.
Maybe
he's gonna play.
Yeah. And Addison, we aren't sure about. We're not sure.
Looks like
about
he's going to be
Addison.
playing. Yeah, definitely looks like he's going to be playing.
Addison should be playing. Are we? You said you're talking about Jefferson, right, Phil?
Correct, sir.
Addison missed practice today.
Okay. What do we think? Like it's looking like Nico Collins, absolute slam dunk, #1 pass catcher on this team. And when I say that, he looks almost like a top man. He looks like a top talent in the league at wide receiver.
Well, his
that
ADP
one-handed
might
catch,
be a league winner this year.
Yeah, that one-handed catch he made, he looks really good. Like, yeah, you might be onto something with that, Seth. Like, we argued about it tons and tons of pods. Diggs is still like, maybe it's good that Diggs doesn't have to be the guy, right? Like, they haven't gotten Tank Dell involved
He's
yet.
obviously a red zone threat, though. Like, that's helpful.
So,
and just he's expected to play, but he is dealing with like a hip and foot issue. Just as a quick heads up. I think you may have even mentioned that, but I just wanted to say it.
No, yeah, I thought he was. I knew he left, and then I realized he came back. So, yeah, Nico Collins, though, like, he's looking really good. And
what are we doing with Tank Dell, though?
I think he's going to have it.
I like Tank Dell over Diggs for the rest of the season, like long term.
I think so, too. I think they're going to try to get him the ball more. I just don't think it's happening.
He should have had a 60-yard touchdown last week. He dropped the ball. If he catches that
true.
ball, he's probably running all the way to the
That
end
was
zone.
unbelievable how he dropped that ball. That was so wild.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4 guys
like,
in this pod catch that pass. No offense, Seth.
I was wondering who you were going to say there.
I knew that was coming.
But yeah, that was no. You might be onto something, Jordan, because I felt like they were getting creative, getting him the ball too.
He had 4 targets. He
also had 2 carries. He's been getting carries every game. I think this could be the week though, because like if we think this is going to be like if it's a 45 like point total and we think they're going to be airing the ball out, like I think this could be the game for Tank Dell. I'm hoping so because I'm forced to start him this week over Cup. So
Cup, but he's not on Cup's not on IR, Jordan or Seth. So that's good news. Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Vikings, Skull baby, upset.
I'm going to go Texans here. I'll keep riding them until I'm proven otherwise.
I'll go Vikings.
Phil, what are you going to do?
I feel like it's going to split games. Who do I want to split with? I'm going to go with Seth and I'm going to go Texans.
All right.
Moving on here. We have the we started earlier than ever, and I'm just letting the yawns out. All right. Chargers at Steelers. Current total right now is 35.5. Pittsburgh currently favored by 1.5. How do you think the Bears feel right now with Justin Fields being 2-0? They got to be kind of upset, right?
I think they've got to be a little upset. But I think maybe what they've realized is maybe he wasn't the problem. Maybe they needed to draft a lineman and not Fields. We can't write off, Caleb Williams yet. But they do need to get some protection for that offense, for that quarterback, right? Like, did he get sacked 6 times
8
on Sunday Night Football? 7, 8? It was 8.
Yeah.
This is that's David Carr type stuff.
They did get a lineman though, didn't they?
Maybe so, but not like a top guy, not like the guy that like Herbert got, no Joe Alt or anything. But
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing about did you see the drama after the game? It looked like CJ Stroud was like trying to just like be cool with him, and he was just kind of being a little bit of a jerk. Did you see that?
Yeah, it didn't I don't know. Everyone's different after a loss. So I think I would have maybe handled it different, but also CJ Stroud came out and said like, hey, me and Caleb are really cool. Like I wasn't trying to little bro him. Like he understood. I understood. A lot of guys reached out to me last year and I really appreciated it. And so I thought I'd pass it on as well, but like no hard feelings. Like we're good. Me and him are friends.
Yeah. To be quite honest, if you came up to me after a game, Trent, I definitely would probably walk the other way. So I get where he's coming from.
If you came up to me tomorrow, I'd walk the other way. So we're fair. We're even.
All right. We have a sit and a start in this game. I'm going to close my eyes and randomly pick. Jordan, I'm going to start with you and your sit.
Yeah, so I have I had J.K. Dobbins as my start last week. I kind of talked about him, how much I loved him, and I'm going to come right back with him as a sit this week. As good of a matchup as last week was for him against the Panthers, this is just an equally brutal matchup against the Steelers. The Steelers have the 4th ranked run defense on PFF, and right correlated with that, they've given up the 3rd least fantasy points to running backs. It's also, we have a super low total of 35.5. That's what I had earlier in the day today. I just don't like the spot. Like, I just think it's a really, really bad spot for J.K. Dobbins. He might get volume, but the Steelers defense has been really, really good. They're probably the best defense in football. If they're not, they're definitely like top 3 or top 4. So hate the spot for J.K. Dobbins. The guy just came through in the clutch for me last week. But I'm going to have to go against JK this week.
The only thing I would say, Jordan, on that is, and also I just trade for J.K. Dobbins, so I'm looking for that silver lining. I do think this Chargers offensive line is really good, but TJ Watt the defense is very good. Like, I think this could, I'm not disagreeing with you either. I'm just saying, like, Joe Alt's really good. He did really good against Max Crosby. I know Watt is probably a different level than Crosby, but I think this Chargers O-line is really good, and I'm excited to see this test for them.
What I would say to that, Trent, is like, I thought the Falcons line looked pretty solid against the Eagles on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Would you agree? I mean, and you see with the holes they opened up for Bijan, like, but that wasn't there against the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers were on Kirk Cousins all the time. And, like, as good as Bijan is, he went 18 for 68 yards. Like,
yeah.
I think that the Steelers defense is just that good. Like, they are really, really good. And yeah, the I don't know. I just think this is a bad spot. So
yeah. No, I understand. I'll go over to mine here, Jordan, with what I have for my start of the week. And I got George Pickens. I was very high on George Pickens last year. He hasn't quite got it together this year. I think this is a game he can get it together. He just needs the ball more. And last week he had a touchdown called back for a penalty, and he had a 50-yard reception called back for a penalty. So if he had another 6 points plus another 5 points to his score, it's way better than what it is. He's cracking 20 points last week. This is the last opportunity, I think, for buy low, opportunity for George Pickens. Justin Fields had DJ Moore last year, who was a top 5 fantasy wide receiver. I still think Pickens can get there. They haven't had to open. The only reason he might not get there, though, is how good the defense is, like you're saying, Jordan. They just might not need to air it out like we want them to. But Justin Fields has had top 5 fantasy receivers before. I think Pickens could very easily go off in this game, score a touchdown, get a big play. He just needs the opportunity. So, yeah, I'm going with George Pickens as my start of the week. It's just as more of a comeback game of like I scored a touchdown that got called back for a penalty. I had a 50-yard grab that got called back for a penalty. I think this guy's ready, and I think I feel the big game coming on here against the Chargers. Anyone else we kind of like in this Chargers Steelers game? I think
Did you see the Harbaugh quote?
I didn't see it. What I'm like Moses, I'm going down with my staff. Is that what he said?
Yeah. I like that quote. That was a good one. I had not heard that one before. I thought that was
haven't
pretty
heard
funny.
that. No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It is.
Little human interest story there.
Yeah. I do like this is ugly, Jordan, and you probably like are just gonna roll your eyes at it. Pat Freiermuth is tight end 9 on the season. So if you have him, you can play him. He's finished his 13 and 12 in both games. It's not pretty. You don't feel really good doing it, but you can play Pat Freiermuth in this game. And Quentin Johnson, what do we think? Do you want to see a little bit more? I said last week I thought he needed a confidence game. Seth, you're on mute. I said I thought Quentin Johnson maybe needed a confidence game, and maybe that was holding him back. But what do you think, Seth?
I don't know. I don't think I'm touching any Chargers guys until I get a little more bigger sample size. It's been McConkey. It hasn't been Palmer at all, which we thought was going to be wide receiver 1. And then it was Quentin Johnson last week. I'm hands off until I see a bigger sample size. I just don't know. I think they're so committed to the run. Herbert can just kind of throw it to whoever. So I want to see more before I pick a receiver or say, hey, this is the guy on the Chargers now.
Yeah. And this probably isn't a game that's a shootout either. So you probably could wait and see, with Quentin Johnson.
Total is so low.
Yeah.
Total is so low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to go with, we got 2 undefeated teams. So
2 undefeated teams.
I'm going to go with winning this game. I'm going to go with, let me see here. I'll go with Steelers because they're at home.
I got Steelers.
And because they gave Russ the game ball, even though he didn't play last week.
Yeah. Phil, how happy were you for Russ when he got the petty game ball? And they called it a petty game ball.
That's such a participation trophy for a guy who did not participate. That makes me that Mike Tomlin does not seem like a guy that gives out participation trophies. You know what I'm saying? And he gives Russ, of all people, the game ball. Like Russ has to be a guy that people like in the locker room because it just definitely doesn't seem like that. Outwardly, you're just like, this guy is kind of an odd duck, but maybe he's cool. No, he's not even cool in the locker room. Like, I'm pretty sure Marshawn Lynch said he didn't even give his cell phone number out. Someone had from Russ's team called Marshawn. Like, no one had. No, I don't get it. Weird deal. Weird dude. I don't get Mike Tomlin giving out participation awards, but I guess that's the world we live in now.
Yep. Anyone going Chargers? I took Steelers.
I'm going Steelers.
I'm going Chargers.
Bolt up, baby. All right. What do we got next, Phil?
All righty. We have the Jaguars in the other Monday night doubleheader. We have the Jaguars versus the Bills. Current total right now is 45.5. Buffalo is currently favored by 4.5. Before we get into Seth's sit, Jordan, is it panic time for Trevor Lawrence?
I don't know. Maybe. Probably. I'm kind of over it, to be honest. I don't know.
Is it on the contract? On the
look, I don't know. It's frustrating. It's 2 games in. Don't want to overreact. He's had 3 bad halves. First half of the first game was really good, so we'll see. Be interesting to see what happens this week.
He beats who? What is his record over the last? So he lost against the Browns. He lost against the Dolphins. He lost against the Titans. Oh, so he's 3-4, I guess. And dude, he's had a pretty rough dude, this is insane. If you look at his recent record, it's highway robbery what he's doing to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Fun fact, Last week, Trevor Lawrence finished his or total on the season. Trevor Lawrence is QB 23. Daniel Jones is QB 20. Just to pour some.
You don't need
salt on the wound.
Yeah, what's up with that? Why, Jordan? I'm sorry. I didn't. I wasn't. I was actually asking like how you're feeling. Trent's
Like you were
looking
concerned. You were actually concerned.
Trent straight up
Trent
went
brought
knee
out
to
the
throat.
shovel, man.
I know. Jeez. And have you seen that guy dig? That would have taken forever. Go ahead, Seth.
Okay, so my sit this week is Christian Kirk. Let me just read off the stats. Like we saw what Trevor Lawrence had, but Christian Kirk.
This isn't a sit. This is a drop.
Yeah, seriously, I'm feeling like that. The only reason I'm not dropping him is because you're like what you spent in the draft for him. 72% snaps week 1 and 88% snaps last week. 3.5 points week 1. 0.4 points. He had 1 catch for -1 yard. Okay, so this guy has 2 catches, 29 yards on the season. He is, 7 targets total, not really getting the volume that he normally gets, like what we saw last year with Christian Kirk. He was like, if you had him on your team, you were pretty happy about it. Now let's look at Brian Thomas here. He has 1 more target total than Brian Thomas. He has 4 more catches, and he is at 130 yards total with 1 touchdown. This is Brian Thomas's offense now. Trevor Lawrence is going to be throwing him the ball, partly because I don't think the Jaguars really, I don't know how they can't win games, so they're just throwing the ball to Brian Thomas down the field. And I think, like, if you're going to play a receiver, it's got to be Brian Thomas right now. That's it. Christian Kirk, I'm sorry, dude, you're dead to me. That's it. I can't start you until you have a good game.
Cold hard truth.
Yeah, guys making fun of me for digging slowly. This guy just sent someone to his grave, so let's just act like that didn't happen. I think you can play the Jaguars tight end. You can play Travis Etienne. Anything else?
You're playing Brenton Strange.
Trent? Yeah. Well, do you see what he did last week? Did he have a pretty good game? I thought he had a decent
I'm playing
game.
Brian Thomas. That's it. Nobody else.
Like look at the tight end landscape. Like it's very, very rough. Like Brenton Strange last week, his numbers were he finished as tight end. Where is he? He's probably low because he didn't play the first game. Like if he's the guy, I can't find him on my list right now. I thought he had a decent finish.
I'll play devil's advocate on Christian Kirk just a little bit. He had 2 drops in week 1. His week 1 stat line looks probably decent amount better if he doesn't drop the ball 2 times. And then he did have a touchdown get called back for a penalty last week. So
yeah, Brenton Strange finished his tight end 9 last week.
Playing devil's advocate and saying that he dropped 2 passes, I don't think makes us feel any better. But the TD.
Well, I'm saying like,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all the same. Like it easily could have been better. Like 3 things go differently, and you're probably looking at his.
No, I know, but do you know what I'm saying though? Like him dropping 2 passes.
Yeah, but he's not a guy who drops passes usually. I guess is my point, right?
All
right.
We'll take your word for it.
We'll see.
All right.
I mean, this is a better matchup than. I mean, the Buffalo is a better matchup than the Browns for sure.
All right. I'm going with Bills winning this game. Anyone going Jags? Jordan, you going Jags?
Yeah, sure. Just for that. I have 0 confidence, but they'll probably win. Like just because of that, like this is the game they'll win. Like they'll lose. They'll give the game away to the Dolphins. They'll lose to a crappy Cleveland team. They'll probably win this game on the road in Buffalo. That's how stupid this team is.
I'm going Bills.
All right, Bills. Today's picks are brought to you by our friends. Today's picks are brought to you by our friends over at Sleeper. Sleeper's our favorite place to play fantasy football. Take your whole league over there. Go check out the dynamic payouts. They got all kinds of plays. Enter promo code DUDES100. They'll match up to $100. Can't say enough good things about Sleeper. You can run all your dynasty leagues on there. They got chats for if you want to trade guys, all that good stuff. Head over to Sleeper, guys. What do we have next, Phil?
Yes, sir. All right, moving on here. We have the Dolphins at the Seahawks. The current total right now is 41.5. Seattle is currently favored by 4.5. Trent, you have a sit in this game.
This one hurts because I have a lot of this guy. I got Jaylen Waddle. Quarterback situation, I don't know what to really think about it. Waddle hasn't done that much. Well, he had a good week 1. Week 2, maybe it would have been there if Tua doesn't get hurt. It wasn't there by the time he got hurt. The Seahawks are only giving up 144 yards per game on the pass. The secondary is pretty tough. They are the 13th ranked defense right now on the just out of this whole thing, this chart I'm looking here. They're the second toughest defense against the pass. So I don't want to play anyone against this defense really passing wise, and especially with a backup quarterback. I think this is an A-Chan game. I'm leaving Jaylen Waddle on my bench. And, where you drafted Jaylen Waddle, maybe this comes back to bite me, but I really am not playing him in my lineups this week. Jaylen Waddle, this defense is Seattle. They drafted the 2 corners last year. The defense it's been better this year. Maybe it's a little getting exaggerated because they played the Broncos one game, and then who'd they play last week that they beat? So maybe it's competition, but I actually think this defense is pretty good against the pass. They played the Patriots, so maybe not the best sample size for the defense.
I don't know, but it's a backup quarterback in Dolphins, but it's also Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle. There's a big difference for sure.
Yeah, so we'll see how Skylar Thomas does. I know they had Cam Newton.
Skylar Thompson.
They had Cam Newton. Yeah, all right, Perrine. So they had Cam Newton at practice today, I know. And
why? Waddle, why is that? Why? See, here's the thing.
I think they're looking at him to play quarterback, Phil. And Tyreek Hill said, we have enough kids here. We don't need any more.
What's funny is that Cam, maybe they're chirping at each other because Cam kind of went off on Tyreek for the whole traffic stop situation. Do you see that?
I didn't see that, but
he didn't go off on him, but he was like kind of like everyone has been on Tyreek's side, and Cam was kind of like saying he could see it both ways from the video I saw. Anyhow, I could see why Tyreek was probably chirping him because he probably wasn't too happy about it. But that is just a weird deal that they would have. I mean, might as well pull in Kaepernick. Like they've both been out of the league around the same amount of time.
Bring
Flacco
back.
Flacco.
No, Flacco's on the team.
Oh, is he still in the Browns?
No. Where did Flacco go, Jordan? Is he at the Colts?
He's on the Colts.
Yeah. So they could bring in bring Tannehill back. Bring in Tanny.
Bring in Tannehill. Like I'm trying to think who else could we see going there? I mean, heck, send Zach Wilson there. He's got a pulse.
I mean,
I said send him there.
Tua is out minimum 4 games. I think they're just going to kind of see how it goes.
Did you see
that's a bold strategy.
Fire up your Seahawks guys. I think you can play JSN. He had his game last week. I think you can play Charbonnet, or it doesn't look like Kenny Walker's going to play at the moment. So I think it's a good spot for Charbonnet. We saw what James Cook did last week, and you can play I think you can play Geno Smith too. DK Metcalf. Only pass catcher I really don't want to play on the Seahawks is.
That's why Seths repping the UCLA gear. Zach Charbonnet went to UCLA.
Right there, his favorite player. So, yeah. Anything else you want to say on this game, Jordan? All right. I'm going to say Seahawks win this game.
I got Seahawks.
Hawks.
Seth, you're on mute, buddy.
Yes, Hawks.
Give me a
hawk call, Phil.
My throat's kind of hurting, or else I would. Can you overlay? Can you just drop it in there, Trent?
I can't.
I need some water.
Anywhere. Yeah.
I'll try to next week, Seth. I will give it to you 100%. All right. Moving on here. We have
that's all our starts and sits. Let us know what you guys thought about putting all our starts and sits at the beginning. Then we're going to probably go through these games a little quicker here where we don't have starts and sits. Kind of say some, give a quick little preview. So let us know what you guys think. Phil, take it from here.
I love when Trent gives us the let us know what you guys think.
Hey, comments on YouTube help, Phil. I don't know if you knew that. That's how the algo works. You leave a comment, you leave a like, sub, all that stuff.
Cool. All right. We have Lions versus Cardinals. Current total right now is 51.5. Detroit favored in Arizona, coming off a loss to the Bucks. We have no starts nor sits in this game, but I think this one could probably be a pretty good one given the total right now is 51.5. What are we thinking here, guys? Anything besides starting your studs? Any big call outs you'd like to drop here?
Laporta comeback game. This is it. Let's let it happen. They got what? They had 8 red zone attempts last week. I think they only scored once. So like the Lions, they were very inefficient in the red zone. They have to bounce back. Maybe Laporta finally gets it going again here. I'm firing up as many guys as I can in this game. What do we think about Goff, Jordan? You like Goff here? Like he kind of wasn't what we thought he was. He was just okay last week, and he was in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fine. Like, I don't say that I would love him. I don't know. I think I'm more worried about Laporta than you are, Trent. I don't know. It just feels
I'm worried,
like
but this has to be a spot.
Jameson.
Yeah.
It feels to me like pretty clear Jameson, Amon St. Brown, 1-2 there. Jameson's probably going to hurt Laporta more than anybody, but yeah, I mean, I think you have to keep playing him. It's a really good spot. High total, really high total here. So, yeah I like all the guys in this game.
It's going to be a fun game, I think. I hope.
Yeah. Cardinals look good, like I said.
I will say that the Detroit's kind of been getting killed from the slot. Like week 1, Cooper Kupp destroyed him out of the slot. Last week, Chris Godwin absolutely destroyed them out of the slot. So, Greg Dortch, McBride runs a lot out of the slot too, so we could see a good McBride game. Greg Dortch, like I think he's interesting as like maybe like a kind of a low level flex play. So maybe it'd be interesting to see what his props are and stuff.
You like him more than Wilson?
Yeah, I mean the slots. Dortch plays.
You're right. Wilson doesn't play the slot.
I have it right
I'm
here.
Sorry. Yeah, it's Dortch for sure.
Dortch plays 66% of his snaps out of the slot. Trey McBride 43%. Wilson only 28%, and Harrison only 21%. So I like Dortch here. I also like Marvin Harrison. Like I think he's gonna have another really good game here.
Yeah, fire up James Conner as well. I'm saying I'm gonna go. Where's this game at? This is in Arizona. Man, do we see the Lions?
Detroit goes 0-3. 3 games in a row.
1-2. 1-2.
No, they won They beat the Rams.
Yeah, they beat the Rams. They're 1-2.
That's
they're
right.
1-1.
That's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
1-1.
Yeah.
My bad.
They lose 2 in a row on the road.
They're favorited right now, Trent, by 3, just for what it's worth.
Yeah.
On
And
the
Aiden
road.
Hutchinson went off last week. I don't think he's going to sack Murray as much as that. Murray looks like the wheels are coming back. I'm going to go Lions bounce back on the road here. As much as I like the Cardinals, I'm going to say they bounce back.
I'm saying
I got
Arizona
Arizona
here.
One pride.
Lions.
Okay, Phil, you're going Lions. So Jordan's Cardinals by himself. That's a pretty good spot to be in right there, Jordan. All right, Phil, what do we got next?
All right, we have Eagles Saints. Current total right now is 49.5. New Orleans currently favored by 2.5 on a pretty hot streak right now. Trent, you love the Cowboys. Your favorite player is Derek Carr. Was it a bittersweet moment when he beat your Cowboys, or like what did it feel like last week?
It was rough. I did not appreciate it. What the Saints have scored on every single offensive drive this year. They look pretty good. Everyone said the Lions would be the greatest show on turf. No, it's not true. It was the Saints. We all got that wrong. Saints look really good. Offense is firing on all cylinders. Alvin Kamara, Rashid Shaheed. They haven't even gotten Chris Olave involved yet. So I think that's coming. I think this is the Chris Olave game where he finally has that breakthrough, because Eagles are just so bad against the pass. And did they look like really great against the run too? Like, I talked to an Eagles fan for 30 minutes today about this game. Things are looking, fans in Philly, they are not very forgiving. They are very worried. They want this whole defense figured out. They're mad they didn't run the ball, and they're mad they threw the ball to Saquon at the end. They thought they should have ran the ball. That's all besides the point. I like everything the Saints are doing here, but this can't continue. This is just way too efficient here right now. So bittersweet. No, Phil, it was not bittersweet at all. I wanted the Cowboys to win, to ask your stupid question that you ask me probably once a week.
Well, you're a huge Derek Carr guy. As much as Jordan loves Sean McVay, you love Derek Carr. So I wasn't sure how you felt there.
No AJ Brown.
No AJ Brown. Yeah. What are we thinking, Jordy? Seth, anything you want to add here to this?
I mean, this is just another Alvin Kamara smash spot here. Bijan had so much openings last night. Like,
I
and
like the
Kamara and
Kamara
Bijan
total
are very
yards.
similar. Like, what was that, Seth?
I like the Kamara total yards. I like his
Yeah.
total yards prop. I like it.
So like they're kind of similar how they like how the Falcons use Bijan is how the Saints use Kamara. So
It's
really like Kamara
103.
here. Devontae's awesome. Saquon's awesome. Like Olave, Shaheed are good. Outside of like Goddard, kind of was disappointing last week, or on Monday night. He could have a good game here without AJ Brown.
Does anyone have the stones to play Rashid Shaheed this week?
Why
The
not?
guy's he's what, wide receiver? He's up there. Like I think you got to keep rolling with him. Is what I'm saying.
Like you saw Darnell Mooney bust a big play here against the Eagles last week, and like they took shots. The Falcons did take shots on the field.
Wide
I
receiver
think
7.
Mooney might have dropped another one or just missed on another one. Like it was open another time. Like Shaheed, like he I don't see like why he can't have a long one in the secondary against secondary.
And then Olave, I think, got tackled on like within the 5-yard line last week, Jordan, and that led to a Kamara touchdown. So like Olave is getting closer. So
yeah,
I had a lot of smoke thrown at me saying that Shaheed's the number 1 in New Orleans. I'm going Saints win this one. Jalen Hurts did look good last game. I think you fire up your studs in this game. Can we play Dotson? It could be a high scoring game. Dotson, like,
I mean, Brayton Covey looked like the number 2 wide receiver there. So
yeah,
guy looks like Seth.
Mirrors.
Yeah,
That's not a compliment. Anyone going Eagles?
no.
I'm going Eagles.
All right, fly Eagles, fly. What we got next, Phil?
All right, next we have Ravens versus Cowboys. Right now, the total is 48.5. Baltimore currently favored by 1.5 going into Arlington, Texas. Ravens are 0-2. Cowboys are 1-1. Both teams coming off of loss. Of course, I think this one could end up being a shootout. No?
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible.
I mean, that's what the total is
Highest total.
higher. I think second highest, Seth, but yes, it is, or third highest actually, but yeah, pretty high total.
Lamb finally got going this past week. This feels more like a dawdle game. I don't love any of the Cowboys running backs. I just haven't seen. Who do you think? You think it's Zeke?
I think it's no running backs. No running back game.
Yeah. I think it's more of a dawdle, but like I don't love like any of them. Like I think it's gonna be more of a passing. Like those guys are both rostered pretty heavily. Like I'm not expecting 10 points out of either of them unless one of them falls in. But I feel like this is gonna be more of a. I don't think the Cowboys are gonna be able to run on the Ravens. I think it's going to be more of a game script will be more of a dawdle game script. Ravens are very weak against the tight end. If Ferguson plays, which he's trending towards playing, I think there's a smash
or
spot
Schoonmaker.
for Ferguson.
Either one, Trent. I think
he played good last week too. Yeah. So fire up those guys with Lamb. I don't know how I feel about anyone else pass catching wise.
On the Ravens side, it feels more like a Justice Hill game than a Derrick Henry game to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like Henry's going to fall in the end zone every single game. He has 2 rushing touchdowns so far, even though he hasn't been like super efficient. They are giving him the ball on the 1-yard line. So
yeah, no, I know, but like I just think you could get like Justice Hill like week 1 against the Chiefs is pretty good. Because they're just going to give him dump offs, and they're going to use him. He's going to be on the field in games where it's close or they are down.
And then Zay Flowers likely kind of didn't really do anything last week. Like neither tight end on the Ravens was spectacular by any means.
Flowers is your safest for sure.
Flowers is the safest, and they get him involved. They throw it to him short. His ADOT's very low, and they just get him involved.
Trent, for what it's worth, Justice Hill has played more than Derrick Henry in both games.
Has he played more? But he's not. Yeah.
He's just not putting up the point totals because of the TDs.
Yeah.
I'm going with it. Be interesting to see what happens when Keaton Mitchell comes back. You think they
That is
put him
true.
in the mix?
it'll be
I'm gonna
interesting to see.
go. I'm gonna go. Dallas wins this one.
I have Baltimore.
Anyone else joining me? Anyone else riding with me? Ride with me.
It would be crazy to see the Ravens go 0-3. I also think it'd be crazy to see the Cowboys go 1-2.
Seeing the Cowboys go 1-2 would be less surprising than the Ravens going 0-3.
I agree.
Yeah.
Phil, what are you taking?
I am taking Cowboys.
Seth.
I'm going Saints.
All right. What do we got next, Phil? He did say Saints, huh?
He did, yeah. Who you going with, Setherton? Ravens or Cowboys?
Oh, sorry, I said Saints. I meant the Ravens.
Yeah. You definitely
I
didn't
don't know why
UCLA.
I said Saints.
Okay.
Yeah, nor do I. And it's all right. That's okay. Hey, listen, we all make mistakes. It's late. You have a newborn baby. You probably aren't getting a lot of sleep. You're
Don't
wearing
give
a
the guy any excuse.
You're
Don't
wearing
give the
a
guy any excuses.
You're wearing
Everyone
a matching yellow shirt to your beanie, which is kind of weird. But outside of that, I feel you. Yeah. What shirt are you wearing there, Seth?
He also wore white jeans to work today.
My underdog.
It's
It's my underdog shirt.
Oh, I didn't get the yellow one. That one's kind of cool. Did he wear white jeans to
yeah, it's after Labor Day.
They're normal
Total
jeans.
something you shouldn't do. Phil, next one.
He also wore them to a wedding and got kicked out. All right. Moving on here. That wasn't even a funny joke. Chiefs Falcons. Dude, the Falcons Chiefs Falcons current total is 46.5. KC is favored in Hotlanta by 3.5. Man, I want the Falcons to win this game more than anything else. I sure hope they have a fire burning them in after that 2-minute drill, minute-long drive. Kirk Cousins takes them down the field, scores a touchdown. Like I hope they're feeling it. You know what I'm saying?
They're retiring Matt Ryan's jersey at the game. Each fan is getting 2 free hot dogs, I believe. I sent that to you, Phil.
They incentivize people with food.
Yeah, fans are going to be fired up. So, does an empty belly or a full belly cheer louder? I'm not sure. It might be about the same. Carson Steele, what are we thinking about this game? He's been the highest waiver wire ad. Phil is
I'm charging my computer. Sorry.
Okay. Carson Steele, Jordan. What do you think? Is this? I think he's just okay.
It's Steele this week. I think it's Kareem Hunt moving forward. I think long term it's going to be Kareem Hunt, but it's a really good spot for Steele this week. Like this is Atlanta run defense was not good. Last week against Saquon wasn't that great, to be honest, in week 1 against Najee Harris either. So like, I think, I really like the spot, but I just don't trust like who the running back's going to be. It would not shock me if Kareem Hunt plays in this game. So, I know Mahomes was talking about him today. I know Mahomes are like friends, they're buddies. So, yeah, I think it's a good spot for whatever KC running back is out there. Just don't know who it's going to be or how much I trust who it's going to be.
Did you say Mahomes is buddies with Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, when he was back, when he used to be there.
They're drafted the same draft class. Like they're rookie camp together.
Oh, yes.
Kareem Hunt was like at his wedding, and he said they've communicated off and on over the years, and so he said it was really good to have him back in the locker room. And that's another guy Mahomes like is willing to trust back there. It's hard. I mean, Carson Steele fumbled last week, and it's like, do they really want to give their whole backfield to a 21-year-old rookie? And
the guy's handled crocodiles though, so you got to give him that.
That's true, but
I think this is kind of Carson Steele's chance. I think it is going to be a short leash. I feel like it's just going to be more of a committee. Do we expect Kelsey to kind of be a takeover guy that, they kind of start using him again? And we need an Xavier Worthy bounce back. I felt bad on Sunday and Saturday. I told way too many people to play Xavier Worthy over guys that he did not outscore.
I think Xavier Worthy breakout game's coming. It's hard to know when, but it is coming.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be this past game with the Cincinnati Bengals corner talking trash, saying the only thing he can do is run fast in a straight line. So
Yeah, and that corner backed it up with one of the sickest interceptions I've ever seen.
Yes. No, he played good.
So, and it wasn't Eli Apple, but isn't it kind of weird that Kareem Hunt literally was released from the Chiefs because he was not being truthful about the whole DV situation, and now he might be coming back to the Chiefs. That's just crazy.
No, he's
that's
back.
part of the story, though.
Just
Like that is
begging
part of the
him
story.
to come back. They begging him to come back.
Fire up. Like Kyle Pitts has been a broken play. Besides a broken play, hasn't been that good. They aren't really looking at him. Yeah. Do you play like Darnell Mooney had a big game, and then who is the other? But it's like Kirk Cousins is throwing. Ray McLeod and Darnell Mooney have both had big games. It's like, why start throwing these other guys with the high draft capital? I'm going with Falcons not winning this game. I'm going to go with Chiefs winning this game. Anyone going Falcons as much as I want the Falcons, Phil? That's not what I said.
I am going with Falcons.
Seth, you're on mute.
I'm going Falcons here.
Okay.
Actually,
no way Kurt wins back-to-back primetime games. Impossible. That'd be a Christmas miracle.
No, I'm going Chiefs.
You guys already made your picks.
Falcons.
Okay. What do we got next, Phil?
All right. The next game that we have is Bears versus Colts. Current total right now is 43.5. And the current total is 43.5. And Indy is currently favored by 1.5.
If DeAndre Swift doesn't go off this week, I don't know if it's happening. This is a pretty good spot. The Colts got absolutely gouged by the Packers. The Packers threw the ball with Malik Willis, 6 times the whole entire game. They ran the ball every single play. The Colts who'd they play week 1? Who'd the Colts play?
Mixon absolutely destroyed them week 1.
Mixon absolutely destroyed them. So if DeAndre Swift cannot get it done this week, I don't know what we do with him. I don't think you can drop him, but this is a very good DeAndre Swift play. Yeah. A situation. It's a good
I completely agree. It's a great spot for him. Like that's the kind of takeaway for me is DeAndre Swift smash spot. DJ Moore's good. Eventually he's going to turn around with him. On the Colts side, gosh, Jonathan Taylor, I guess. I mean, Anthony Richardson, I guess. Michael Pittman's I don't know.
I had to pray about not dropping him last night in waivers. I was so frustrated. My team has DJ Moore and Michael Pittman. So DJ Moore got 10 targets. Stingley played him very tough. He had 10 targets, 6 receptions, 53 yards. Stingley was tackling him really wasn't letting him get loose, which was a big deal. But the 10 targets is good to see. He had 8 targets the game before. I'm hoping DJ Moore can finally crack double-digit points this week. We will see. And then Michael Pittman, he has had 8 targets and 7 targets.
He doesn't fit Anthony Richardson's play style. Anthony Richardson wants to chuck it down the field. Michael Pittman doesn't run those type of routes. And I mean, he has guys like Alec Pierce and AD Mitchell who are running those guys. Yeah. I don't know. They don't go together. Him and Pittman don't.
Can you play Alec Pierce? Do you Alec Pierce or Michael Pittman this game?
Yeah, I mean you can. I don't know if I love it though.
Do you know what Michael Pittman or Alec Pierce is on the season, Jordan?
Probably wide receiver 5, 6.
Yeah, he's 5. He's wide receiver 5. So to have Michael Pittman, who is wide receiver 69, or Alec Pierce, who's wide receiver 5, and Adonai Mitchell, he got missed a couple times last week too. He's very close to scoring touchdowns. So Mitchell and Pierce, I almost wonder, should they try to trade Pittman for something? They probably could get some decent value out of that. Is Caleb Williams throw his first touchdown pass in this game?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
I think I'm going to go with Colts winning this one.
I'm still going Colts.
I'm going Colts. Just
Bears.
Caleb Williams, the only quarterback he's been better than in fantasy football or like yards is Bryce Young. Like he has not looked that good. I know it can bounce around and change. I can't remember what that was I read that said he was better than. I probably should have wrote that down.
Phil,
Or
who are you
saved.
taking?
Bears.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Moving on
Caleb
here.
Williams is QB 31 on the season in fantasy football.
Is this because
All
Caleb
right.
Williams' first dome game, though, right? He didn't play in a dome either first 2 weeks.
No, Houston's a dome.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, moving on here to our second to last game, Broncos versus Bucks. Current total right now is 39.5. Tampa Bay is currently favored by 6.5 at home. I think we can be pretty quick on this game, right? Is there anyone you're excited about in Denver that you're playing?
I'm
No
maybe.
Broncos.
Yeah, the only thing would maybe be Javonte Williams, but it hasn't been looking good enough. I need to see a little bit more. Chris Godwin has, come back to life. Play Chris Godwin, play Mike Evans.
You're
Play
playing those
Baker.
guys, but I just worry how much they have to actually throw the ball in this game.
Yeah.
And this Broncos defense isn't like bad. I wouldn't say they're like great, but like I do think it's a good spot for Rachaad White, but we just don't know. Like if Rachaad White were to miss somehow, I think it'd be a really good spot for Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know how much they pass in this game. I don't like any Denver guys, and I got Bucks to win. I think Bucks going to be my survivor team this week.
Yeah, Bucks are about to go 3-0. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bucks are 3-0. We've basically had a revitalization. I mean, Baker had a decent year last year, but are we seeing Baker and Derek Carr just kind of coming back from the grave? Basically,
it's going to be Andy Dalton is going to be the Baker.
You think so?
I just
hey,
said
don't
that.
you like the coach at?
I like the Panthers coach. That's why I'm not giving up on Dalton. The fact that Canales said this isn't our best quarterback, this is. I'm ready to be heard again. I am going with Bucks winning this game. What do we got next, Phil?
Is it because you like the store Buc-ee's?
That definitely doesn't hurt.
All right. Current.
It's a gas station. Don't ever call it a store again.
I thought that Jordan actually it's a convenience store. Yeah, thank you. I would say
you shut up.
I would say more people would consider it a store than a gas station. Yeah, you see people fueling up gas there, but you're not going for the low price on fuel. You're going for the
it might be more of like
Pepper.
It might be more of a restaurant than a gas station, to be honest.
If there are gas pumps, what is it?
So is Costco a gas station or a store, a grocery store?
It's not connected. Like they don't have.
Yes, they are. It's the exact same way.
Oh, you go fill up your car with gas, then walk in and get groceries while you're getting pumped up? Doubt it.
No, your logic is flawed, Trent. It's so flawed. Jordan, you're right. Trent,
you can't pay with cash at that gas station, so it's just it voids.
You get to a point where you've lost an argument where you lose all logic. So I'm no longer going to argue. I think we should. That's something that we should.
You lost all logic when you woke up this morning, buddy.
Now he's going to low blows. You know?
I don't. It's Trent's it's his defense mechanism. Most turtles, go into their shell. I wish Trent would do the same. But he is he's turtling right now. He's shelling. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. He is anyhow. He I don't know. What am I saying, Jordan? He's got a little bit
we're all dying to figure out what you're going to say. Yeah.
All right. Packers versus Titans. Current total right now is 37.5. Current total right now is 37.5. Green Bay is currently favored in Nash by 2.5. This one, is this a Malik Willis revenge game? Is he going to be starting?
Malik Willis revenge game. You're right, Phil. That's a big deal. Jordan Love did practice today, but I think the fact that the Titans beat the Colts, I think they might just be like, we don't need him one more game. You know what I mean? Like that's one win we didn't think we were going to get.
I will say, Trent, the total's ticked up 2 points since I did my breakdown yesterday. So in 24 hours, it's ticked up 2 points. Kind of makes me think that they think Jordan Love might play. And it was Tennessee favored by 3, now favored by 2. So I could see Jordan Love maybe playing in this game.
Okay.
I actually think he does play in this game.
Okay.
So I just don't know what he'll look like, But I don't.
If he
I'm
plays,
only,
would you play him over Baker?
No.
Okay.
If he plays, I don't even know if I trust his receivers just because I don't know what he's going to look like. Josh Jacobs, good spot. Ridley Pollard on the other side, but there's not a lot here.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of in the same boat with you on those guys there. Yeah. I'm not ready to play Levis yet unless it's a deep super flex league.
Yeah.
Pollard, are you kind of down on Spears, Jordan?
We got to see more. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
I hope not. I have so much of them in best ball.
I'm going to go with Packers winning this game.
I got
Anyone
Packers as well.
I am going Pack, and whether Malik Willis plays or not, hopefully he gets the petty ball or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Packers here.
Good point, Phil. They better give him the petty ball. That's a good point. We will give him the petty ball on our pod if he doesn't.
Absolutely, we will.
All right. So So, hey, guys, I'll just recap the starts and sits. I had George Pickens as a start. I had Jaylen Waddle as a sit. Zamir White as a sleeper. Jordan had Demarcus Robinson as a start. J.K. Dobbins as a sit. Austin Ekeler as a sleeper. Seth had Jerome Ford as a start. Christian Kirk as a sit. And Sam Darnold as a sleeper. That kind of does it, guys. I don't think we need to say anything else. I will see you on Monday on my early waiver wire show. Tune in on YouTube at TFF Dudes. Watch Seth and Jordan as they give their underdog pick'ems. You won't want to miss that, guys. And as always, see you next time.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.